In this video, you will learn how to build the cinematic sunrise step by step. This is what we are working with. 2 color space transforms, 3 nodes for color correction, and 5 nodes for that final and high-end look. This workflow works across all DJI devices, so whether you're shooting on DJI Mini, Avata or Mavic drones, or on Osmo Pocket and Osmo Action cameras, this video is for you. You will learn a lot today, but don't worry, as always, we will keep it clean, simple and structured. So welcome, thanks for joining, let's start with the foundation. We start with 2 color space transforms. The first node transforms D-Log-M into DaVinci White Gamut. And the second node converts the DaVinci White Gamut back to Rec 709. Now we move to the color correction part. So let's create 3 nodes. HDR exposure, linear balance, and contrast. Since the real magic happens in the last 5 nodes, I won't dive too deep into the correction part here. I will still provide a quick overview, but for a more detailed breakdown of why I do what I do, watch one of these videos first and then come back to this one. For the contrast, I always set saturation to 0. Then I build a S-shaped curve, set my pivot value to 0.336, and then I add some contrast and mid and detail in the primaries. In the white balance node, I switch my gamma to linear, set the lumix to 0, and then I adjust white balance with the gain slider. And in the exposure node, I play around with the highlights and shadows to finish off my color correction. Like I just said, these steps are described in close detail in my other videos, so if this was too fast, you already know what to do. In the next 5 nodes, we shape the light, boost our colors, and bring life into the image with some simple techniques. Let's label them properly to stay organized. Saturation, sky mask, sky glow, water glow, and vignette. Step 1. Saturation. This node is only used to enhance or decrease specific colors. In the HDR section, I first slightly increase saturation. Just a tiny bit, don't overdo it here. We will boost our colors even more later with some masks. Now I move to the curves section. Here I open the Hue versus Saturation tab. By selecting the qualifier tool here, we can simply click on specific parts of the image to create a keyframe for this specific color. When we now drag this keyframe up or down, we either increase or decrease the saturation. For this sunrise, I will only add a touch of orange, and even if we can't really see them, we also remove some of the blue and magenta tones out of the clouds and the sky. Here is a before and after. Very subtle changes, but they make a huge difference as we move forward. Now we select the next node, Sky Mask. This node contains only one setting, but has the biggest impact on this image. Let's move to the masking or window section. Here I select the rectangular mask shape. The goal here is to drag it out to roughly cover the whole sky. When you're using masks, you always want to avoid harsh transitions. That's why it's important to soften it out by dragging this yellow line to the outside. Now we move to the Primaries tab. Here we head to the color boost setting. We add about 15 or 20% to make all the colors in the shot more dominant. Here is a quick before and after. With this one single setting, we just changed the entire mood of the scene completely. But now listen, this is very important. To make it more realistic and achieve a smooth roll-off on the water, we have to resize the mask by dragging the green line down. Now we again play around with the softness. We also keep some of the darker shadows on the bottom area. That's it. If you prefer a little bit more warmth, you can also lift the temperature up a little bit here. If you enjoyed the video so far, it would really mean a lot to me if you leave a like on this video. And if you have any question, let me know them in the comments and I will answer them. Thank you, let's move on. In the next two notes, we will add some glow to the sky and the water, and with masks, we will focus on specific areas where the glow actually takes place. With the sky glow mask selected, we now add the glow effect from the effects panel. Here I will adjust the shine threshold, the spread, and the gain, gamma and saturation settings. This is a constant back and forth. Try to stay subtle and don't let the glow dominate the whole image. It's just there to enhance the scene. If you like the result, you can also add a color filter to match the color of the glow to the sky. You can always bypass the node in between to see the before and after. What I always like to do is to add a secondary glow. And again, you just play around with the settings and the color filter till you're happy with the result. Now we move to the water glow node. Same process. No explanation needed here. The only thing that's different here is that we mask out the glow so that only the bottom area with the water gets affected. So again, I move to the window section. Just like before, we choose the rectangular mask shape. Then we set up the mask, and to finish it off, we soften it out properly and fine-tune the glow settings. In this case, I want to match the color filter to the same color from the sky glow node. So what I do is to switch back to the previous node, click on this tab to see the exact hex code of this specific color, and then I move back to the water glow node and insert it here. The same process is done for the secondary glow. Now we have both color filters matched to each other. Here is a before and after without the water glow. And here is one with both glow nodes bypassed. Cool, right? This already looks very beautiful. As a final touch, we will add a vignette to draw the attention more towards the center of the frame. Here we choose a circular mask shape and adjust it like this. When the mask is done and feathered out, we click on this little dot icon. On the node itself, you will see a gray area. The gray area basically means that this part isn't affected by the mask. And since we now want to darken the edges to actually draw the attention towards the center of the frame, we need this inverted circular mask shape. Now we move to the HDR tab and slightly reduce exposure to achieve this vignette effect. Here's a before and after without the vignette. And here is a before and after without all our adjustments. So yeah, this was a lot, but as you see, these were all just basic adjustments. And if you practice those techniques 1,000 times, you will get better and you will achieve breathtaking and cinematic results, no matter which clip or camera you're working with. If you learned something today, let me know that in the comments, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, leave a like, and with that said, thanks for watching.